So one of the things that we've run into this year is we're an omnichannel brand. There's just so much data that we're trying to aggregate. And this is, Amazon, it's Target, it's the website. We're trying to think about how advertising really impacts people's behaviors across a bunch of different channels. And we're starting to expand internationally. And it's just like that grows everything by an order of magnitude, the number of places that we have to go get data. And I was thinking about Jason, you've got just that exact problem. You guys are further down the road than we are. You've got operations going on basically globally at this point. You got all these sources of data. How in the world are you organizing all that data?
Yeah, great point. It is incredibly complex. And if you think about our business, cash flow is like the light, is the blood of the system, the blood flow, and the data is the nervous system. And for a really long time, I was saying to myself, we're just leaving money on the table because we don't have our data in the right place, or we don't understand our data to make good decisions. I'm 100% about making data oriented decisions. So the key for us, we partnered with Saris Analytics to build out our data warehouse, and we continue to knock off new projects within it. And starting from just understanding where all our sales are coming from, going into one spot and having a dashboard for that, and then loading in all of our marketing metrics to look at the time series of that over time, and then eventually we can actually help. It'll really aid our forecasting. So having all that data and partnering with a great business like Saris has been a big win for us, for sure.
Jason, what like with the team though, is everybody looking at this stuff? Is it just you? Like what's the impact been? Like how broad in the business?
Yeah, it's been really broad actually, and it's one of those things where you don't know what you need until you see it. And I was pushing. This was actually my project, data warehouse, because as a banker, I actually did a lot in the tech space, and I knew a lot of data warehouse companies. And I just saw we have all these customers, we have all these metrics, um, and I was like, this is going to help our business. We need to get this information all in one place, have it be robust, have it be timely. And then I actually got all of the leadership at the company to really buy into this project and use it. And for example, our growth team are heavily using this data now. So our growth team is using it, our ops team is using it, and the C-suite is using it to get really the our hands on the metrics that we need.
It seems like having a really good grasp of your data is not just important for running the business. If you ever want to sell your business, it's very important. And that's the kind of thing that leads to multiple expansion. But one of the things that we've seen, Jason, as we start to build, I would say, our data infrastructure, it can get pretty expensive pretty quickly, especially if you're piecing together several different software solutions.
Yeah. Well, look, I think first of all, this is an investment that, once you're say 10 million in revenue, you really need to think seriously, because a lot of times when people look at investment in technology, they're thinking about what it's going to cost, but they don't think about the return on that investment, and like, just the incrementality that comes from it, the incremental sales that come from it. I think they outweigh the cost here. And I think centralizing on one system and having one team do it, I think is really at the end of the day going to be more efficient. And like this is something that I wouldn't want to build on my own. I would go to an expert and one firm and have them do it. And we looked around a lot, and we thought that the only one that had the understanding of our space at a detailed level and really understanding ecom, that was Saris, and that's why we went with them.
It's interesting the way that we vet softwares at our company. I rely really heavily on the recommendations of people like the three of you. I know that we lean on other entrepreneurs. Sarah's is something that, for example, Ben from True Classic is using it. And those recommendations carry a lot of weight for me when a Jason Panzer says, hey, we're using this and we're using this at scale. And I think all of us have found that to be a really helpful way of filtering through the noise and the countless options is who are other true operators using and using successfully in the market.